What's going on, YouTube? My name is Bill. Welcome to KO Bets. We got a good show tonight. Apologies for signing on kind of late. I was all ready to go, and then I noticed this little button on my dashboard that said link up TikTok, and I don't think I figured it out, but I was trying to, and I just figured it'd be best to do this week's show, and then I'll try and add that next week. But it'd be cool if I could simulcast. Very helpful. Before I get started, please like the stream, subscribe to my channel. Again, we're KO Bets. NFT update, we're at 74 subscribers. I'll be giving away an NFT at 100. We've got to highlight last week's results. I'll go through it on the UFC.com page, but on the year, we're up 36.4%. Last week, we finished up 23.76%. Honestly, I rage quit while I was watching, and yeah, I don't know. I was tired, and let's recap it. Let's see what happened. Something ticked me off, man. Rose won. That was good. Carl Williams won. That was our pick. Edmund won. That was our pick. Peyton Talbot. We didn't do bad picking money lines. It just was a kind of interesting card. Very competitive. I took Billy Q. That was a fight we got wrong. We took I took Fernando Padilla via knockout. He gets a submission. I think that's where I was like, I've had it. I'm done. That's when I checked out. Muhammad Usman, I took him for the finish only, but I thought maybe he won that. Igor Severino biting Lima, ridiculous. I took Montserrat Rendon. Daria looked fine. I think Montserrat was a plus. She was the biggest underdog. Didn't think it was a bad pick. Steven looked awful. Again, losing to Aaron's, no excuse. Miles Johns looked great. Same with Julian Arosa, Trey Ogden. Let's get on to the next week. I'm not happy with it. If you're not already, you can follow me on Twitter. So what I'm doing this year, I'll go through tonight and I'll give my picks and predictions for every fight, but I never I don't recommend betting every fight, right? So on my Twitter, I'll post my picks for free. I usually do that Saturday morning because that's when I'll be looking at it, First fight of the night, we've got is Angel Pacheco taking on Colin Logren. Angel Pacheco lost to Danny Silva on Dana White's Contender Series. He's the guy who was just so upset with losing, but that was a war. That was a battle. You can see just, anything outside of the UFC, they don't really factor into these stats, but anyone with a Contender Series fight, you can find the stats here. He was in a battle with Danny Silva. He's tough. You gotta love it. Dana White signs him. I think Colin Logren here, I think he's gonna be better kind of everywhere this fight goes. You gotta respect Pacheco. I think it'll probably go to a decision, but I just think Colin Logren is the better fighter here. I was looking at some NBA games. Let's check real quick. Oh, the Wizards are making a comeback. That's good. I need that. Yeah, cool. The Spurs are up. Ooh, 17. I took them plus 9.5. Yeah, Colin Logren, heavy favorite. Yeah, that's the biggest favorite on the fight card. So I just think he's going to be better everywhere, specifically the wrestling. I kind of like the decision result for Colin Logren. So did the odds makers. They like it to go fight to go the distance. Yes, is at plus 150. the favorite who they like, man, maybe there's some value on that. I kind of like that. But maybe Colin Logren goes out there and snuffs him out, you know? That could happen. But I kind of like Colin Logren decision. Andre Petroski taking on Jacob Malkoun. This one I've been back and forth on. Andre Petroski coming off the loss to Michel Pereira. It was like a first-round knockout loss, stepping in on short notice against Pereira. Jacob Malkoun's a different kind of fighter. Let's talk about Petroski first. He's done really, really well against the grappling profile, right? Nick Maximov, Gerald Mearshart, he's won, and he was maybe on a 4 or 5 fight win streak prior to the last fight. I mean, he just looks strong in that early in the fight, opening round, second round. You know, I think we've seen once it gets extended, the fight, he does tend to gas out. And I think that's why this is a bad matchup for him. Jacob Malkoun, if we're just looking at like the grappling stats here to highlight it, he is a persistent offensive grappler. He's zero takedown defense. I don't know if anyone's had an opportunity to try and take him down yet, just because he's always on that front foot trying to score the takedown. So I'm really interested to see how Andre Petroski reacts in round 1. Is he able to catch Malkoun with a submission or some sort of strong shot? I'm going to say no, and I think the longer and longer this fight gets extended, we'll see Andre Petroski gas out. And I think he'll do it sooner rather than later because he's facing a grappler that just has cardio for days in Malkoun. So I'm going to go with Malkoun here. I'm probably going to go decision for Malkoun. Odds makers agree. Yeah, I like that. And then odds makers think this is going to go the distance. Victoria Dudikova taking on Melissa Gatto. This is a fight where I just kind of think Melissa Gatto's going to be better everywhere. She's just, she's looking better and better each fight with her striking. She's a really, really talented grappler. And I just think she's going to be, like, if Dudikova's not substantially better than Melissa Gatto in the stand-up department, and I don't think she will be, as far as, like, output and, just visually what you see on the feet, I think it's going to be really, really hard for her to win this fight. And if this gets to the mat, which it might, I think Melissa Gatto is going to have an advantage there. So I like Melissa Gatto at minus 155 here. I like the decision. We could check out, Dudikova's undefeated. Beats Jinyu Frey. Yeah, this is a step up for her. I don't think she passes this test, to be honest. I'm going to say Melissa Gatto decision, but if Dudikova is going to take it to the mat, I think a submission could be in play for Melissa Gatto. Ibo Aslan taking on Anton Turkalj. Anton, the pleasure man from Sweden, 0-3 in the UFC. Ibo's only loss was this to actually Anton prior to the UFC, so that's interesting. Ibo's a beast, 100% finish rate. I think he's been in 2 fights that have made it outside of the first round. One of those was a submission loss to Anton. The other was a 3rd round KO victory for Ibo. I think this time Ibo's able to get the better of Anton. I think if the fight does get extended, that's where you got a live bet opportunity on Anton, for sure. But I'm going to go with Ebo to get it done. And then I think if you're leaning the Ebo side, uh, like Ebo round one's only plus 150. Ebo knockout is only plus 100. Fight parlays, Ebo knockout in round one's only plus 165. Man. Yuck. Doesn't look like there's... Man, I might just sit this one out and look for a live bet opportunity on Anton if it gets out of round one. See how... That might be what I do. You know? We've seen Anton... He's... Okay, he got knocked out against Pedro. Submitted by Almeida. I don't really think there's any shame in the Almeida submission, but to get knocked out by Tyson Pedro in round one, I remember that too. I think Ebo's going to get it done, round one knockout. Dennis Bazooka taking on Connor Matthews. This is an interesting fight. I kind of feel like Dennis Bazooka, and I'm going to just keep it brief, I think he's the better fighter, but I think stylistically in the format of two guys stepping in the octagon, 5-minute rounds, like Connor Matthews definitely has a skill set to frustrate Dennis, be persistent with the grappling, get Dennis to the mat, and just wear on him. Matthews is super tough, so I'm going to take the flyer on the dog here in Matthews to get it done. I think he could get it done via decision is kind of what I'm thinking. He's very tough as well, and I just think he's going to be, have the control time. I think he could have the, the output advantage, and I don't think Dennis Bazooka, he's either going to have to catch him or dole out more damage because I don't think he's going to outwork him. So give me the dog, Connor Matthews. Julio Arce taking on Herbert Burns. Herbert Burns is like a 2-3 minute fighter, round one fighter, and I'm kind of surprised he's fighting again, but I mean, it's just okay. I mean, yeah, so if he's not getting that round one submission, and he's super talented when it comes to jiu-jitsu, if he's not getting that, he's done. And that's kind of crazy, in my opinion. So I'm going to go with Julio Arce here. I think he probably, he's got really, really good grappling in his own right. I don't know if it's as good as, 2-minute sprint from Herbert Burns, but we're going to say he gets past that, and then he probably knocks out Herbert Burns, because that's what everyone does. So, Virna Jandiroba taking on Lupi Godinez. I mean, here it's going to come down to, I think, where the fight plays out. I think if Virna Jandiroba is able to secure takedowns against Lupi Godinez, if this fight is on the mat, she's going to be super dangerous. She's a very strong grappler. Definitely has an advantage there. Lupi, on the other hand, we've seen her have success against some pretty good grapplers, even with implementing a little bit of an offensive grappling approach. But then there's some fights that just make you want to pull your hair out, like Angela Hill. Luana Carolina was just, I think she was up a weight class on short notice there. Or maybe that was Penne. I think that was Penne, actually. So, man, I think Lupi's probably got the skill set to be the minute winner here. I'm just a little worried about Virna Jandiroba snatching up a submission. Just because Lupi, I'm a huge fan, but just like does lack the IQ sometimes, and like I just wouldn't grapple with Fiorot if I was her. I wouldn't be, afraid to engage with her, but like even in like a clinch or whatever, but like just don't. I think there's a clear path to victory here, and that's standing up, striking, winning a decision. That's what the odds makers like. Don't hate the flyer on a Jandiroba submission potentially. The next fight, last fight of the prelims, is Nate Landwehr taking on Jamal Emmers. Man, this one I've been really back and forth on. Jamal Emmers, I think, is probably the more technically sound fighter, and part of me is just saying fuck that, and I'm going with Nate Landwehr. I think we've seen Jamal Emmers make some mistakes before in the UFC. We'll just pull it up. Yeah, losing that split decision to Jack Jansen, getting heel hooked by Sabatini. I mean, I don't know. Like, it just seems like there's a lapse of judgment on occasion in there. And like the way Nate fights, it's gonna be a brawl, right? So he's gonna be walking forward. It's not gonna be like a normal fight. So do we see Landwehr grapple? That's kind of what or sorry, not Landwehr. Do we see Jamal Emmers try to grapple Landwehr? I think that's where you could do some. You got to figure out how to put Landwehr on his back foot, and I don't know if we're gonna see that out of Jamal Emmers, where he's just pushing back. The pressure of Nate Landwehr. So I kind of think I'm gonna go Nate Landwehr, and I think he's gonna melt him. I'm gonna go Nate Landwehr. I'm not gonna pick a result, but I think he does just stylistically pose some issues for a fighter like Jamal Emmers with the pressure. So we'll see though. Jamal Emmers is a really good fighter. Chidi Njokuani taking on Reese McGee, and I think it's pretty simple here. I think Chidi's gonna knock out Reese McGee in round 1, or early in round 2, and if he's not able to do that, it could turn into a closer fight. But I think I'm pretty confident in the Chidi Njokuani side to win this. It'll be interesting though if Reese McGee's able to survive that first round onslaught. Reese McGee also. Oh, Hamzat, Morono, Lusa. Yeah, I'm going to go Chidi here. I'm going to go Chidi to get it done. And I'm going to say it's a knockout for Chidi. Where is he? Here we go. Minus 148 favorite. The knockout is the favored result. The next fight is Bill Algeo taking on Kyle Nelson. This is a fight where I just think stylistically Kyle Nelson's not going to be able to replicate and do what he's been doing the past few fights, which is just use footwork, feints to freeze up his opponent. I kind of think Bill Algeo is just going to, I like him stylistically in this matchup. Just go out there, be aggressive, be the fighter on the front foot, and then if it does get to the mat, I kind of feel like Bill Algeo will be good down there and dangerous. So I'm going to roll with the favorite in this fight, Bill Algeo. I think it's probably going to be a decision just because of how risk-averse Ryan Nelson is as a fighter. But I'm going to go with the Bill Algeo decision for plus 120. Odds makers agree. Then we've got Nursultan Ruzboev taking on Cedriques Dumas. I kind of still feel like Cedriques is very raw as a fighter, and I think this is an opponent that is a problem with Cedriques. He just didn't fight the best level of competition prior to the UFC, and then Brundage was ass in that fight. Zaitar was tired as hell. He was ass in his fight. I think Nursultan's gonna win this very easily. I think he could even finish Cedriques Dumas, but give me the experience and the just like 33-8. You see that record? Give me that all day on Nursultan. Minus 225 favorite. I agree. They like the Nursultan decision. I kind of just think it's going to be the stand-up. I know Fremd submitted Cedriques Dumas, but I think where he's not the best is standing up. He's got a good frame, but I think he looks uncomfortable on the feet. So I think he's a better grappler than he is a striker, Cedriques Dumas. Chris Weidman taking on Bruno Silva. Man, this is one where it's like, I think Chris Weidman's going to be hurting in this one and look pretty rough after it. If he's able to grapple with Bruno Silva, good on him, but I just don't see it anymore out of Chris Weidman. Like he's just... this isn't Brad Tavares. This isn't going to be a guy who's that good of a kicker. But Bruno Silva carries huge power. I'm pretty sure we've seen Weidman knocked out several times recently. Leg injury. Dominic Reyes knocked him out. Souza knocked him out. Yeah, we've seen him get knocked out a bunch. I think all it's going to take is Bruno Silva to find him once with a clean shot, and that'll happen at some point. Bruno Silva, heavy favorite. I like the Silva knockout minus 120. When does it happen? I don't know. Vicente Luque taking on Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin's dangerous. But this is a huge step up in competition for Joaquin and a big step down in competition for Vicente Luque. And I'm going to roll with the favorite in Luque here to win. I think he's the more technical boxer, striker, grappler. And then I think Joaquin Buckley, he has shown an ability to get takedowns, to win rounds. But the real issue for me is the output isn't always there for Buckley. Huge power though. That part's undeniable, and we did see Luque get knocked out 2 fights ago. I just think Luque is gonna outclass him in a 3-round fight. Do the same thing he did the last fight. Fight intelligent. Don't take too big of risks. And I think Vicente Luque gets it done via decision. That's huge. Plus 500. If he's not able to do that, I might parlay it with the Joaquin. Wow, plus 500. I'm going to probably put that in my shit. Aaron Blanchfield taking on Mannion Fiorot. And this is a great fight. I'm a big fan of both fighters. I kind of view them both as being championship pedigree fighters, and man, I think Blanchfield is really, really talented. mean, she's talented. I just think Mannion Fiorot is nasty when it comes to the striking. She is really, really good. She's also just really big. And I think, I think physicality wins a lot of fights in women's MMA right now. Same with guys too, right? If you're the bigger dude, but like Mannion is special, and she's older. If this fight gets extended, yeah, I could see Blanchfield maybe getting a late submission, but I kind of think Mannion Fiorot's gonna stuff the takedowns early, and then she's just gonna be another level when it comes to a striker that Erin Blanchfield has come across in her MMA career. I think she's gonna be by far the best striker she's ever faced, and then she's gonna be bigger. And I mean, I do like Erin Blanchfield, but this just has upset written all over it to me. So I'm going with Mannion Fiorot, the underdog, to get it done at plus 160. I've seen this line drift to like minus 200 for Erin Blanchfield, so who knows where it'll settle. I do think, as far as being a minute winner, potentially winning rounds 3, 4, 5, yeah, like Blanchfield could do that, but give me Mannion Fiorot plus 150, might sprinkle the plus 425 knockout. Yeah, let's look at Blanchfield's only loss was to Tracy Cortez. That was a split decision. So let's check out the scores. NC State still up, but Marquette is inching their way back. I did put some on Texas tonight. I thought about Stanford, and I'm glad I didn't. Seeing the score right now. Let's see the guys. Purdue. Yes, that's big. That's big. And then we've got NC State still leading over Marquette. That's big too. And then let's see what's going on in the league. Man, it seems like Washington's going to lose. I parlayed them with Purdue for like $20. It's okay. Sometimes I do that. I just like bet on bad teams, and it's fucking stupid. It is fucking stupid. But I think they had just beaten the Nets the other night. I don't know. They were playing tough. It's Detroit. I was like, they're gonna win. I appreciate everyone tuning in. Again, my name is Bill. Please like the stream, subscribe to the channel. Have a good night. Bye.